What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Street Champs. Y'all already know the vibes. We are back here, and we are here to talk about a very prominent Denver rapper who just got caught on the wrong side of the law and now, unfortunately, has to serve a decade. That's right, 10 years in federal prison for distributing cocaine and fentanyl. We were talking about Tana Ten Birdz. Now, Tana Ten Birdz' real name, Tana Jackson Keeling, was known around East Denver, repping Birdgang, pushing his music heavy, and claiming to be one of the hardest rappers in Colorado. He had songs like Rotate, Free the Birds, and 1008 Wheezy Flow. And if you check out his Instagram, he was all about the flashy lifestyle, foreign whips, designer fits, and that street talk that made it all sound oh so real. But behind the music, the feds say Tana was living what he rapped about, and that's exactly what led to this 10-year federal sentence. According to the Department of Justice, the investigation started back in 2022 when law enforcement was tracking a network that they say was moving fentanyl and cocaine heavy through the Denver metro area. The group was allegedly known as Birdgang, and prosecutors say Tana was one of the major players. According to the feds, they say they operated out of multiple locations around the Denver metro area where they stored and distributed those narcotics. Now, they're alleging at the top of the locations used was an auto body shop in the Denver area, and on November 17, 2022, law enforcement executed a search warrant at that shop and recovered approximately 706 grams of fentanyl pills, 60 grams of fentanyl powder. The same day, law enforcement officers also searched a location frequented by Tana Ten Birdz' co-defendant, Sanford Valdez, aka Charlie Vuitton, and found 50 grams of cocaine. According to court documents, Sanford Valdez has several prior felony convictions which involve drugs and firearms. Tana Ten Birdz, aka Jackson Keeling, was previously sentenced to 10 years in prison for an aggravated robbery in which he threatened a victim at gunpoint. Jackson Keeling had a semi-automatic handgun in his possession when he was arrested in Texas on the indictment on that case. According to the United States Attorney Peter McNeely, they say the so-called Birdgang was fueling the fentanyl crisis in their community. They say they have trafficked tens of thousands of fentanyl pills through the Denver metro area. According to Carlos Sanford Valdez's plea agreement, Sanford Valdez flew to Arizona on July 30th, 2022 to obtain fentanyl pills, which he provided to an associate for transport back to Colorado. The associate was stopped by law enforcement en route to Colorado, and authorities seized approximately 60,000 fentanyl pills. The associate was later indicted along with Sanford Valdez. On August 19, 2022, law enforcement executed a search warrant on a vehicle driven by Sanford Valdez and another associate who was later indicted with Sanford Valdez. During this search warrant, officers recovered a 9mm handgun, 15 rounds of ammunition, $2,494 in cash, and more than 10,000 fentanyl pills. Further, on October 11, 2022, Sanford Valdez was stopped in Arizona for erratic driving but fled the scene. Following a brief pursuit, law enforcement searched the vehicle he was driving and recovered 3 cell phones, $37,000 in cash, a firearm, and marijuana. According to Tana Ten Birdz' plea agreement, on November 14, 2022, he mailed a package from Arizona to Colorado. The package was intercepted and searched by law enforcement. Inside, officers found several children's toys and 10 individually wrapped bundles containing a total of 10,102 fentanyl pills. That's enough to kill hundreds, maybe even thousands of people. The feds hit him with conspiracy to distribute controlled substances plus gun charges, and he eventually pleaded guilty. In June of 2024, the U.S. Attorney's Office announced that Tana Ten Birdz was sentenced to 120 months. That's 10 years in federal prison. They said he had a prior conviction for aggravated robbery, and he was caught with a firearm during this case. Now, because this was a federal sentence, there's no parole, and he'll have to serve almost a full term, probably around 8.5 to 9 years before he touches the streets again. Denver's rap scene took this one hard. Tana had real motion, interviews, collabs in the works, even features with other big artists. But just like we've seen with other rappers across the country, the line between the music and the life gets blurred. And once the feds get involved, this street fame turns to evidence. Now, I always say this, the streets don't love nobody. You could be one song away from blowing up, but if you're still trying to juggle both lives, the system gonna catch up to you. Tana Ten Birdz had potential to put Denver on the map. But instead, we're looking at 10 years before he touches the streets again. Alright, y'all, if you liked that one, hit subscribe. We're going to be back with a lot more coming soon. Peace.